Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer.
I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
Hi, I'm Gloria Puerta from Freedom 45 Community Organization, today in Latino Role Model. And be yourself. Try to have your purpose in life and be a legacy of service.
My name is Milagros Rivera, and I'm a founder and mentor of Daughters of the Mighty King mentoring program for young girls. I am inspired and encouraged to be here because I want to see a new generation rise up.
Welcome back to another edition of Latina Role Models. I'm Sandra Rivera, your host, and we are here today with Kelly Quintero. Welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background?
Of course. So my name is Kelly Quintero. I'm 23. I'm also the Communications Director for the Orange County Tax Collector, Scott Randolph. I also, in my spare time, I'm also the Vice President for the Florida Young Democrats. And so that's a lot to do.
Keeps you busy.
Yeah, keeps me busy. So, and both my parents are Colombian, but I was born in New Jersey. So
okay.
It's a little bit like Colombia.
Right, okay. So you mentioned that you work with the tax collector's office. What is your role there?
So I handle all of his media relations, any types press releases, things like that. And I also oversee the outreach, just to make sure we're reaching to everybody.
Okay, so why does an office like the tax collector have to do any kind of outreach? I mean, you pay your taxes, it's your responsibility. Why do you feel like you have to get out into the community?
Of course, so we offer a lot of services that people don't necessarily know about, including the first of its kind, a service called Tag Express, and our brand new queuing system, which is called SmartPass, lets you get into line via call, text, or kiosk. And it'll tell you, hey, you have 30 minutes left in line. Do you want to wait, or do you want to go eat lunch or go to the mall? Things like that. So it's just educating people about our services. Who is the new tax collector? Because we do still get that a lot. And just informing people about any potential scamming websites, because we've heard it all, and we just want people to know who they can hold accountable.
And do you offer all of this information, questions to these kind of answers on your website as well?
Yes.
Okay, and is that something that has always been available on the website, or is that part of why you came in?
So we had bare bones when I first came in, and it was just building that foundation of we need a website that is able to communicate with everybody about our services, what they need to bring in when they come into our office, and just who the new tax collector is. Like I keep saying that, but you'd be surprised.
People don't know.
Exactly.
And what are some of the things that you have found in your public relations or your outreach? What are some issues that seem to come up a lot that people didn't know you offered, some services that they weren't aware of?
A lot of people still don't know that we do all the DMV services in the state now.
Okay.
So the state handed that down to all the county tax collectors. So, telling them about that, what they can do about their property taxes, maybe they're delinquent on them, and how we can help them. And we also deal with business tax receipts. So if you're a small business, you still have to get your business tax receipt.
Right. And how did you get involved in that?
So I actually, right before I graduated the University of Central Florida, I interned for Senator Geraldine Thompson up in Tallahassee for UCF. And after I finished that, I saw there was an available position as an administrative assistant for Mr. Scott Randolph. And I applied, I got it. I worked my way up to this position. So I've been pretty much every position in administration besides finance, but maybe one day.
And how has your experience with Geraldine Thompson's office helped you going forward in the positions that you've held?
So I think the biggest thing is constituent services. We do that on a daily basis. How do we communicate the issues, what we're doing for the community, and what we hope to do for them in the future, and making sure people know that we are accountable to them and nobody else. Not to Orange County government, but to the voters, to the taxpayers of Orange County.
And why do you feel that that's a priority for you, that to be in that role of service?
For me, it's actually become increasingly important for people to become involved and educated about their local issues. If there's any level of government that affects you directly on an everyday basis, it's the local government. Federal government, everybody likes to blame that, but how many of these issues actually come from the local level, and how many of them could you just fix if you just call your county commissioner, your tax collector, your sheriff, things like that. So I think if people got more involved in their local politics, they'd realize how important it really is.
And do you feel that by getting involved to that extent, and maybe not to the extent that you're involved in, for people who do have issues with their local government at that more local level, some people feel like maybe they don't really have a voice, that their voice won't be heard. How do you respond to that kind of, those kind of comments?
Yeah. So we do have, at the tax collector's office at least, we have a group of individuals, and even I take the customer calls just in case somebody had a really bad experience, things like that. But what I've learned from local government is that there's always somebody willing to listen. Somebody who's willing to help you out and figure out what kind of resources you can actually use for your situation. And sometimes those might even be better than going to the state or federal level, because they have a lot of work to do. And people don't usually think, well, let me go to my county commissioner first. No, they think about going to their congressman or their state senator, things like that.
Okay. And your experience with Geraldine Thompson's office, how did you get into that? How did you even know that that was available to you at your young age?
So my fall semester at UCF, I actually found out there was the Legislative Scholars Program, and I'd already been involved on campus with various student organizations, College Democrats, National Organization for Women at UCF. So I applied, just figured, why not? I'm a senior, what am I gonna lose? And I actually got in, and that was really life-changing for me. I really realized that people should become more involved, and that's become a passion of mine, getting people educated, having them vote, things like that, and how it affects them, especially minorities. It's so important for us to get involved. I mean, without it, nobody would listen to us, and it's awful.
Hey, you spoke a little bit about voting. What do you think somebody who hears you talking about the importance of voting, do you think that they take you seriously?
Well, I certainly hope they do. I think people do take me seriously. People love seeing young people involved in politics, especially at the local level. Sometimes people just brush it away as like an older person activity. No, I mean, like, I love local politics. Like, that's what's affecting us on an everyday basis, and we should be paying attention. And I think especially Hispanics, as soon as they realize, like, hey, there's young Hispanics involved that care and are actively listening, we should be listening too.
Okay. And you are involved also with the Democratic Committee, you mentioned?
The Florida Young Democrats.
Okay. And what do you as an organization do or hope to do?
So I'm newly elected, been there for about a month, and our goal is to really push young Democrats to run for office or to make their voices be heard. Whether that's becoming an activist or just receiving training about how to run a campaign, how to do finance, things of that nature. We really want to remind people that young Democrats are here to stay, and we're not extinct, and that we are going to keep doing exactly what you think we're doing, getting out to vote.
And when you talk about encouraging young people to get out and run for elected positions, I mean, normally when we think of politics and we think about these elected positions, we think we have a stereotype in mind, or we have a prototype, so to speak, of who usually holds these positions. What would you say to a young person who has those kind of political aspirations, dealing with the already established stereotype of who normally runs for these types of positions, and any intimidation factor that they might feel?
It's So I think especially in the state of Florida, we need to realize that the demographics are changing. This is not, one race kind of state. We have a growing, flourishing population of Hispanics here in Central Florida, and we need representation for that, not only in a state level, but on a local level, and moreover on a federal level. Because if we don't have accurate representation, how are people supposed to know what our individual struggles are, what we really care about, and really feel strongly about those issues and make sure that they do something about them? Otherwise, I mean, it'll be a moot point. Nothing would happen.
Right. So what's next for you? What are your aspirations?
Maybe one day I'll run for office, but that's not my goal right now. Right now I want to educate people and tell people that, like I said, young Democrats are here to stay. People should get involved in their local politics because that's what really affects them, and really learning what people want to hear from us as the future generation that's supposed to take care of everybody. That's one role that I will be looking forward to taking in the future.
Okay, and where would you recommend those people that are listening now and have those hopes, where would you recommend that they start, or where can they go to get more involved in these type of, or with these type of issues?
Yeah. So I definitely encourage you to get involved with your local party, whatever you affiliate with. If you don't affiliate with something, that's cool too. There are organizations that are nonprofits that are based on issues. Find those organizations, get involved with them, learn the issues inside and out, and communicate with your legislators. The most annoying thing that you could probably do for them is to call them every single day at their office, telling them, hey, we need Medicaid expansion, we need this, we need that, and reminding them who can hold them accountable, and it's only you and those voters that are paying attention.
Make yourself heard.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so because you started, you said you were a political science major, and you got involved with Geraldine Thompson's campaign. Do you have any recommendations for young Latina women who, not necessarily they want to go into politics, but what they need to do in order to be heard and make a name for themselves in their community?
So I encourage every single Latina to be educated about the issues, know what they really care about and who it affects, learn it inside and out again, and really start just going at it. Find other people that have exactly the same opinions as you, and as a group, you're greater together versus one person. I mean, you can still make those calls and it will still be really annoying, but as a group, it's even more forceful. But that's just my encouragement. Don't give up. Just keep doing it. There's always a place for your voice to be heard. Don't give up. Just knock down that door.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Stay tuned for our next interview.
Hi, I'm Gloria Puerta from Freedom 45 Community Organization, today in Latino role model. And be yourself. Try to have your purpose in life and be a legacy of service.
My name is Milagros Rivera, and I'm a founder and mentor of Daughters of the Mighty King mentoring program for young girls. I am inspired and encouraged to be here because I want to see a new generation rise up.
In Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
You will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
My name is Nilmarie Zapata, and I am a Latina role model because I believe that you can overcome any circumstances that come in your way and be the best version of yourself.
Hello, I'm Sandra Rivera, and I'm a Latino role model. Whatever your struggles are in life, whatever you don't have or don't have access to, don't use that as an excuse for not pursuing your dreams and moving forward. Get out of your own way and get out of your comfort zone, and you will be amazed at the growth that you will experience. Welcome back to Latina Role Models. I'm Sandra Rivera, your host, and today I am here with Raquel Fernandez. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Could you tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Yes. Well, I moved to the United States 7 years ago. I came from Venezuela with my family, and I graduated from high school, went to college, to Valencia Community College, and then transferred to UCF to pursue my international relations degree.
And is that where your passion is?
Yes, I love international politics. I think that politics moves the world and everybody can be passionate about it.
Okay. And did you have did that come over with you when you moved here from Venezuela? Were you involved in that kind of arena?
Well, in Venezuela, I attended to an international school where we had students from all over the world, Germany, England, India. So I got introduced to different cultures as well. My parents are international speakers. So I've been traveling. I've traveled around the world and I've been introduced to different cultures and I felt passionate about it. I love to learn new things, new languages, and learn about international politics.
Okay, so your exposure to different ethnicities or different cultures, do you feel like that has put you at an advantage in the field that you want to go into?
Well, yes. My mom is Italian, so I speak Italian. Mm-hmm. I took 4 years of French in high school, and I have a lot of French friends as well as Moroccan friends, so I speak French. And I was born in Venezuela, so I speak Spanish as well. And then studying at the international school and traveling around, I learned to speak English as well. Of course, once I moved here to the United States, that was a plus.
Right, right. And what do you do now?
Right now, I am the Community Relations Coordinator for the Orange County Tax Collector, okay. Mr. Scott Randolph, yes.
Okay, and we spoke with your colleague a moment ago. Do you work together with her in the outreach?
Yes, we work together, we're a team. She handles more the communication part, but she oversees the outreach of the office.
Now with the outreach, she spoke about getting out into the community and educating the public about what your office does and the kind of services that you offer. What type of events or what things do you get involved in to accomplish the outreach?
Well, once I got into the office, we started discussing that we have to reach out to every group in the community, every ethnic group, religious group, HOAs, because they're all different. Get feedback from them, start learning from them, not only talking about the services that we offer, which are essential for the day-to-day life as driver's license, tag registrations, voter registrations, but also just learning what Orange County, the population that lives in Orange County, and that involves Arab Americans, that involves Hispanics, that involves Asians. So we have tried to cover almost every cultural event out there. We have tried to go to every HOA, Homeowners Association meetings, as well as we are members of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of Metro Orlando, the Brazilian Chamber of Commerce, and just reach out to every member in the community.
Now, are you partnering with those organizations to get them to help you spread the word, or are you there just to educate their members?
It's mostly about educating about what we do, because we offer a service to our community. So we are what the people want us to be, right? Let's give you an example about the new generation, people my age. It used to be, the DMV used to be a thing from the past, waiting in line, doing adult stuff, renewing your tag. Now we're trying to convert everything to just using it online. I previously just purchased my tag, renew my tag online, and just picked it up in between work and school.
Okay. So you're bringing a more youthful perspective, a more youthful experience to these agencies that maybe were a little bit outdated in their approach, how they reach the general public.
A more interactive experience, as well as for those agencies that are in a more Hispanic area, we translate every sign. We are in the process of translating our website as well to reach out to every member in the community.
Okay. And what do you hope to, with your experiences, what do you hope to take from it? Where do you want to go from here?
Well, my goals is actually work in foreign affairs. I think that every experience, every job, and especially when it comes to helping others and reaching out to a community, is essential for building character. And just getting used to talking to people, just getting used to taking risks and being out there. I previously worked as the outreach organizer and volunteer coordinator for Congressman Alan Grayson's re-election campaign, and that was a step for me to learn how to speak, to learn how to outreach, to learn how to organize. And I believe that working for Scott Randolph, the Orange County tax collector, is also a step for me to learning management, to learning a little bit more about communications with my friend Kelly. Just anything I can put my hands on is just new knowledge that later on in life, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, you'll be able to use.
Now, why is it important specifically that women, and if you want to get even more specific, Latino women, get involved in these type of organizations, these agencies? Why is it important to have that kind of presence, whether it's in foreign affairs or in politics?
Well, I believe that women overall, not just in politics, not just in foreign affairs, which is great, but just overall in business, in arts, we thrive. There's a constant fight, a constant tournament between men and women. It's a men-dominated world. So when a woman, a young woman, stands up and gets her voice heard and speak out, and it's educated and it's able to take leadership positions, that sets an example. That breaks that glass ceiling, that breaks that stereotype that we are under men and they are the ones that tend to be the leaders. As a Latina, we are a growing population. Hispanics are a growing population, not just in the United States, but overall in the world. Look at the situation in Venezuela, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people immigrate from Latin America and they go to other countries to shine. So as Latinos, we have to stand up. We have to get our voice heard. We have to represent the people that are coming and introducing themselves into the community that they now call home. So I believe that as a woman Latina, we're able to have that sensitive part and that ethnic part that you can just represent everybody.
Great. Now, you were involved in Mr. Grayson's campaign at the time, and I believe you said you were with Outreach, Community Outreach as well. What, for somebody who wants to get involved in something like that, that maybe feels intimidated, that maybe I don't know too much about politics, I don't know much about campaigning, what do you tell them to help them get out of the box about getting involved like that?
Well, not just in politics, but challenges are going to come to you. Let's say immigration. You immigrate from a new country, you know nothing. When I came in, I knew nothing about American politics, and it was the first step to me to get involved, to learn what American politics was all about, not just locally, but internationally and in a federal level. So the main thing is just being able to take that risk, believe in God, believe in yourself, believe that even if you fail, you'll be able to get up and learn from your mistakes, not being afraid of just going out there, knocking on that door. There is a saying in Spanish that not knocking on the door doesn't mean you will enter, but what if the door opens and you are able to come in? So it's just courage,
What kind of things did you get involved in or that you're currently involved in outside of your professional life that have contributed to your experiences or have helped you along your path? What kind of activities that you would recommend to somebody who wants to go down a similar path?
Okay, well, I am still currently in school. I am a senior at UCF, and I have a lot on my plate still taking classes. Sure. But for example, I am a member of the UN-US Association here in Orlando, as well as a UNICEF volunteer. And I've been invited to the youth advocacy training for the Global Campaign on Education up in Washington. So I try to contact all these nonprofit organizations, called this, get myself involved, get the knowledge of what's going on, the social issues. If it's in international relations, so it's what's going on outside, contacting this group, how can I help? How can I volunteer? What can I learn? How can I offer you my knowledge in history, my languages? What can I do to be out there? It's just networking. It's just calling and wanting to open that door.
So basically you're saying make yourself available for those opportunities. Yes. And not necessarily close the door on any of them just because you may not feel comfortable or may not really know the ins and outs of it.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that you were going to be attending the youth advocacy and training. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the Global Campaign of Education, it's a campaign that advocates when it comes to global education, when it comes to indispensable education for everybody. So I'm still waiting for more instructions. I'll be in training, but I'll be in Washington for 4 days, and at the end of the training, we will sit with members in Congress and talk to them about the issues going on around the world when it comes to education.
Perfect. And we touched on it a little while ago, but what specifically would you tell another young woman similar to you? What kind of advice would you offer to them if they have some kind of aspiration, some kind of goal? What do you tell them to help keep them on that track?
Well, my advice will be, like I said before, is to have faith, not only in God, but in yourself. That means believe in yourself that you will be able to do it. Have a can-do mentality, and set your goals, educate yourself. Be able to, wherever you stand up, be yourself, talk about what you're passionate of. Even if you feel intimidated, even if you feel that it's hard, everything, just set your mind that you will be able to do it. Have that can-do mentality.
All right, good advice. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you for joining us on Latino Role Models. I'm Sandra Rivera. We'll see you next week.
Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
My name is Nilmarie Zapata, and I am a Latina role model because I believe that you can overcome any circumstances that come in your way and be the best version of yourself.
Hello, I'm Sandra Rivera, and I'm a Latina role model. Whatever your struggles are in life, whatever you don't have or don't have access to, don't use that as an excuse for not pursuing your dreams and moving forward. Get out of your own way and get out of your comfort zone, and you will be amazed at the growth that you will experience.
Hi, I'm Gloria Puerta from Feed and Fortify Community Organization, today in Latino role model. And be yourself. Try to have your purpose in life and be a legacy of service.
My name is Milagros Rivera, and I'm a founder and mentor of Daughters of the Mighty King mentoring program for young girls. I am inspired and encouraged to be here because I want to see a new generation rise up.
Are you proud to be Hispanic?
Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States.
Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.